Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast at Level Up Academy. This is for Group 4 50 Inspirational Connections. So, we've tried this since June and we are now in August. In fact, more than halfway done in August. So, we're continuously really like providing information to who are all of the amazing people in our group, in our community. Some people are not able to be part of the group afterwards for one reason or another. Some are health reasons and they are not able to submit. That doesn't mean they're not inspirational. They're inspirational in their own ways, and we respect their choices. So today, Susanna and I are going to talk about what does it mean to be inspirational, and also, when people don't respond to your messages right away, be patient rather than assume that you're not important. Everybody's important to us, but I'm only one person. So, we are actually going through that conversation today, and we're going to talk about different types of inspirational things that we've seen in our community to keep that positive going on today. So, today, instead of having 5 people in this group, we're only going to have to show 2 videos and then we will go from there. But first thing is first. Guess what, guys? We're doing a Rebel with a Cost book with Jess, in memory of Jess, for the proceeds on this one will actually go to autism. So they are already on Amazon. So make sure that you guys actually have that ready and support. October 19th, my sister Sandra Gonzalez and my brother Dr. Lucas. I'm the only one who's not in the military. Okay. Both of these amazing people are in the military, and they're going to share, right? Their abilities, their adversities. They're turning their pain into purpose so you can be an amazing leader that you're meant to be, always leveling up. We're not saying you're not already amazing, you are. But part of being a leader is continuous learning and continuous improvement for yourself. And that's what we're pouring into you, right? But this is an in person, right? Your strategy, your visibility, and your wealth is our conversation. There is a QR code and there is a fee, on this get together, because we're going to give you opportunities that you've never seen before. And it's from 11 a.m. to probably 2 3 hours in that, right? But it's going to be on October 19th, 2024. So join us in San Diego, California. All right, so let's go ahead and start, and we will have this party starting. Did you see that? Wasn't that amazing? All right, let's go ahead and uncover and start this party. I can't start this party without my sister, so
And away we go.
I cannot start this party without you. So, sister, let's talk about 50 inspirational connections. You've had the very beginning opening, right, with group 1, but so far you've seen 3 already. This is the 4th one you're about to see. And what are some of your thoughts in terms of like the groups itself and what you've seen in our community changed, for good or bad or the ugly?
Well, it's one of the things I like about everybody that has been here so far is it's more than just the inspirational. Part of that inspiration is they're being their authentic selves. They're stepping up and doing what calls to them from their soul, from who they are at their core, and not trying to just fit in and fill in to fill in.
Yeah. Um, it was an interesting conversation, both audio rooms and live stream that we did last Sunday, right? We had a couple of guests. Actually, we had about maybe 5 or 7 guests because we do karaoke's. Okay, after the conversation, it's just to get that vibe, that energy, right? The conversation of you should talk about who you are, but doesn't really align with your actions. I really have a problem with that. But I also see, right? Probably that person was meaning to say like what you do is not who you are, right? Because sometimes like people go to college, right, and they have like I don't know, like an architecture major, but they end up basically working in sales, right? And they do good, and they're happy for the moment because they earn the income that they are projected or at least expected to make. And then at the end of that self actualization, you're like, is this it? Is this really my purpose? Is just to sell people and get money? Like, what is, what is next? And then you feel like what you do versus who you are is not aligned. And so that's where I come in. I think that our purpose in life, more than anything, is to be passionate, to be very passionate with aligning ourselves with who we are and what we do, right? Like, for example, I love helping people. I also love learning and I also love to teach, right? So I'm aligning with who I am as a person, which is a giver, a teacher, and really making sure that everyone is with me, right? And I align that with my business, and I also align that with what I do full time, which is teaching and learning at the same time. What are some of your thoughts on that, sister?
I I feel like you can't really put your best effort in something that it's not really who you are. Yes, you can do good and you can be successful, but like you said, how can you really feel fulfilled if you're not doing what your heart is telling you were created to do? That's I've been there. I've had to do the things that just didn't call to me, but part of the problem I ran into was once you get into that, do it because it's available, it pays the bills, it's there. It kind of shut everything else in me down because I just didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel like there's a real purpose. It didn't matter how good I was at it. It just it felt it still felt like something was missing. And in my case, the more that was missing, the more I just kind of withdrew and just survived at that point.
But your mental, I feel like there's a connection, right? There's a connection between your mental well-being and also your capacity and your mental health. If you're aligned with what you love and what you're passionate to do, because every day, yes, of course, it's hard grading, lecturing, but I love it so much that I wake up looking forward to it, right?
Right.
And even if I work full time and then I also work another full time with my business, it doesn't feel like work. Like, yes, I'm tired, but I don't seem to complain more about it. And my outlook and my mental health and my physical, I just need to harmonize on that physical part. Other than that, I feel invigorated, that I feel like I'm living through my purpose, right? And I think the problem with our society is that you get conflicting information. Like, think about it, if we have like a teenager, right, who doesn't have a good guidance with their family, and they hear someone says, yeah, whatever you do and who you are should be separate, right, and shouldn't align, versus me saying that, one person would be so confused, right? And that's the thing, is it only takes one person to confuse another, where they too themselves are confused, and then when they're confused they feel defeated, and you're like, yeah, maybe that person's right. I have to separate with who I am and what I do, even if I'm unhappy, fine, right? And so then you live that life of lies, because to you that's your truth. Like, oh, I just have to accept what I'm given in this society because everyone says it, like, what you do and who you are shouldn't align, right? And so we have to be careful, I think, as leaders, as individuals, on the words that you are projecting, and the words that comes out of your mouth, right? Some people might see you as inspirational leader, and some people might see you as disgust. Either way, you still have to be careful of what you say, because if you're hitting the wrong chord with somebody else, you could push them on their brink, right? What are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, it's in some ways you just talked about me and my dad when I was in high school, because all I ever heard from him was anytime I said what I was interested in, he didn't see where it had money, he didn't see where there was any growth, and I had to go find a job where I could work someplace and I could grow and I could make money. That's all that mattered. So it's saying the same thing that you're saying, different words. So that's another piece of it too, is a lot of it will depend on where the receiver is at as to how they're going to receive it. And just because you didn't say, you just have, all I've heard was like, you just have to do a job. You just have to do, don't expect to do whatever you want to do. Just get a job, pay the bills, and make money. That was it. And that just, it's very deflating to
Mm-hmm.
hear that you're not really allowed to do anything that you want to do. You're not, because I wanted to be an astronomer, and I'm not a backyard astronomer. I wanted to just do that. And the minute they got shot down, it's like, well, I didn't know what to do. And I ended up working for my dad for like 20 years. And that was not exactly a good thing either. But
We deal with it because you got to pay bills, like whatever. um but I think that's why we want is to inspire you to think and reflect on your life right now. Is what you're doing make you happy? Does it give you peace of mind? Right? If you had a wand, would, like, magic wand, you could do whatever you want, would you choose the same exact replica of your life right now? Would you change it? Now, if you want to change it, what would you do? Right? And something to put your feet on the ground is reflect on your skills. You already have all the tools that you need. You just need someone to support you and guide you, because you've been so beaten up with our society that tells you you have to be on the peg square, and you can't go around to a circle in that peg square. You got to stay in that square, right? It's like going to jail in your mind, and you're going to stay in jail for the rest of your life, right? You need to take those shackles off and test the water outside of that jail cell that you put your mind into, right? That's really what I want people to encourage is think about what you're doing and what you're saying, and don't be so stuck with whatever I'm doing, I'm perfectly fine. um, Maybe a little growth doesn't have to be jumping and huge growth, just a little growth. Like, I had to do that too. I'm a very black and white person. It's either you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. But what I realize is that we learn differently. What I'm seeing that you're doing wrong, if you still get to the same exact outcome, who am I to say that? It's like math, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4, 5 minus 1 equals 4. 2 times 2 equals 4. You see, the outcome is still the same. But the way you have formula based on the experience and or multiplication, addition, right, subtraction, you still get to the same outcome. So who am I to say that you can't do the same outcome if you're doing it differently. So I had to think about it in a logical, more mathematical way because my brain functions that way. And to tell myself, CJ, stop. Like, there's a different way of learning things. So when my students don't learn the way I'm teaching, I ask feedback like, okay, which part did you not get? Like, what is the, like today I had some, um, a little mini quiz and we were talking about like marketing because I teach marketing classes. And they're like, well, Dr. Leland, what's the difference between OnSought and also specialty? These, it seems to me like they're the same. And they're given examples of Rolex and refrigerator and burial plot. And I had to explain those three examples on which one is a specialty and which one is OnSought. I said, first of all, define the words that you're confused. Forget all the solution. Define it because even if you think that's the right solution, that might not be. So you gotta look at the definition and stop using jargons like all of these shortcuts you yourself and your circle knows, but the rest of the world doesn't know. How are you teaching people? You're not, you're confusing them more, right? And sometimes most people will not ask you what they are. I'll be the first person, like, I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? Can you give me an example? Can you clarify? Phone a friend? Like that would be me, right? Because honestly, it's not dumb. Like most people will feel like, oh, I feel dumb because I'm asking those questions. No, I'm smart because I'm asking those questions because I can't give you a solution if I don't know what the problem is. Right. And if I'm wrong based on this quiz, at least I had the audacity to even ask questions. Right. And when people ask you questions, don't be passive aggressive. Like, you don't believe me and trust me with what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with that. People just didn't get how you're saying it. Give them a different example. Don't be giving them the same example. If they don't get the first example, don't give them the second example of the same thing. They're not going to get it either. Switch your mind and do some other examples, right? So for me, it's like, okay, specialty, you can have refrigerator. Unsought means like what? Something that you're not even thinking about it and you only need it because you need it now. It's not something you're even thinking about. Like, who wants to think about burial plots unless someone died, right? So that's why I told them, like, that is the difference between specialty that you're getting now with the marketing. No one markets burial plot, guys, like all the time. You literally have to look for it, right? So that was a really good example that I used that they just didn't get the definition. So when they're looking at the answers, they're like, huh? Aren't they both specialty? Right? So there's a difference, a slight difference between the two. And when they saw that differentiation, they're like, I get it now. Sometimes you just have to make sure that you're explaining things to people in a different way. But I love that Sister Susanna is happy that she's aligned with what she wants to do. It's not astronomy, though. It's not astronomy. She has to deal with me, okay? Like, oh my God, sister. So today we have two videos. The first one that I'm gonna show you, you haven't seen any of these videos, right?
Nope.
Okay, so we're gonna do Lorelai first. Why are you not seeing Lorelai? Are you seeing Lorelai?
I am now.
Okay, see, tell me if you can hear her.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lorelai Molinari, and I started a group called Lorelai Molinari's Home of Mental Health Info and Support Groups. It started out after I had a bad experience in the hospital and not having anybody to support me. I'm neurodivergent, and I've raised 3 neurodivergent adults that are now in their 30s. So I have a BA in psychology and 30 years with autism and its comorbid cousins. And I came out of the hospital not being able to speak. And I thought, how many people in the community don't have a support system? And I wanted to be somebody's support system. Many people get isolated from their families because they have mental health challenges. and they end up out on the streets a lot of times. They end up being hospitalized for psychiatric conditions. And a lot of times they end up in jail because they do something wrong. And I don't want that happening to people just because they can't have their voices heard. So I started my group. It's never been a business per se. It's been a calling that's as close to a business as it is. But we started out just a small group on Meetup at the beginning of 2024. And we have grown into our own website, I mean. And we now have serviced in the manner of one-on-one or in a support group at least one time 298 people. Now, how do I support them? Via the computer and Zoom. And I have like group meetings and like appointments with people. And we talk about what's going on in their lives. Sometimes they just want to vent, and that is fine. Most of the times they just want their voice and what's going on in their life to be known to somebody. And if they need support that I can't give them, I refer them. And if I think that they need a doctor's help, I encourage them strongly. And they always have a place to check in with me. Thus, I've created an online community that is connecting the whole world, because anywhere they speak English and anywhere there's an internet connection, they have a friend that will support them and listen to them. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.
Oh. Sister, what do you think?
I love it. And it really touches on something we've also talked about recently, of the so many people say they're there for you, and that you can contact them, and then when you take a risk and you do that, it's empty words, or they're not safe. And what I'm hearing from Lorelei is the complete opposite. It's what we really need, because to reach out to somebody, for so many, that is such a difficult thing to do. And yet you listen to her and her energy. It's you get that feeling that this really is somebody that you can reach out to.
So now you know why I've chosen her as part of the 50 Inspirational.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not words, it's actions.
It's actions. And you can just feel it with her. It's the actions, but it's also, you feel that that the words have meaning. They're not empty words. To think about when she started this and where she's at now, that's amazing.
Almost 300 people. I mean, think about it. That's a lot of people. You just wish you can have one person. You know what I mean? Like,
in less than 300 days.
Yeah. So she's working hard on, where she needs to be, and I love that. Nancy Anderson actually is one of this group member in group 4, but she is in Colorado right now, and she's going through some adversity with her health, and so she wasn't able to add her 50 inspirational videos. But what I want you to do is please pray for her that she will be better, because what she does for the community is super amazing, right? But she just didn't get a chance to get her video, but I do want to mention her because I want to give her positive energy and recognition, and because she is one of those person that I was also looking at, for the 50 inspirational, and making sure that what she does for the community, even though she's going through her own adversity, she still shows up on audio rooms. She still shows up on people's lives and things like that. So I appreciate that, and I hope you feel better, Nancy.
Does she have a handle or something? Is this the Nancy?
Nancy H. Anderson. So you'll see her on LinkedIn because that's where the 50 inspirational connections are. And she has like legal administration. It will say Adams and Martin Group. And I think
Okay.
her email is nancyh.anderson@comcast.net. And the reason I'm reading that to you, because she also have that on her. So I'm going to share. She has it on her profile. So let me see if I can share. Are you guys seeing her profile? It's right there.
There it is.
That Nancy. So you see it, Nancy.
Nancy. She showed
Yeah,
up on my show today.
exactly. So that's why, even though she doesn't have her video, I want to make sure that she knows she's still part of 50 Inspirational Connections. Right now, she's just going through a lot. And shout out to you, Nancy. Hopefully, you will feel better. And whatever you're going through right now, I'm not going to
Yep.
discuss that something personal, that you will overcome that. So
But we
let's
send love.
exactly, and I want to make sure that I highlight that. Now, our last one I wanted to share is our dear sister Rebecca. So let's see if we can share her. Are you guys seeing it yet or no?
Not yet.
You
There we
see it
go.
now? Okay.
Yep.
So let me know if you can hear it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ebanga Ibe. Currently, I work as a senior cloud engineer. I've also worked as a DevOps engineer in the past years. I just want to thank you for being opportune to be selected as one of the 50 LinkedIn inspirational leaders last week. I really feel honored. So on this video, I want to talk about how I started my mentoring and coaching program, what inspired me and what I do. I started my program because I saw a real need for personalized career guidance, especially in the tech industry. After spending years in tech myself, doing my job hunt, I noticed how many talented individuals were struggling to navigate the job market. So I decided to come in and help. I realized that they had the skills, but the problem is they lack the know-how to effectively showcase these skills. So I wanted to bridge the gap and also empower people to land their job with confidence during their job search. One of the problems I realized people are having is they don't have good resumes. Their LinkedIn's are not optimized. They don't have a good brand on LinkedIn. Because those are all the things that make you not be visible. And when you're not visible, you can't be seen. So it makes your job search very, very hard. So in my mentorship and coaching program, I offer a range of services that are tailored to each client's unique needs. And one of the key areas I focus on is auditing LinkedIn profile and also resumes. I understand the importance of presenting oneself in best possible lights, especially in today's competitive job market. You have to present yourself very, very good. So by reviewing and optimizing these professional profiles, I help my clients to highlight their skills, not only their skills, and also their experiences effectively, this will increase their chances of getting noticed by potential employers. I also take the time to understand your goals when I'm working with you. I understand your aspirations. I understand your strength and your weakness. And then I provide you a customized feedback and also a proven technique to like make your job application stand out and make your job search very, very easy and faster. I provide interview preparation workshop. Additionally, I'm dedicated to making a positive impact in the tech community by actively participating in mentorship programs. I'm also involved in community events. Together, we can unlock the full potential of individuals and contribute to the growth and success of the tech industry. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to be part of your journey towards success in tech industry. So let's connect and make great things happen together. Do have a blessed day. Bye.
What do you think?
I like that. It's somebody who saw a need and jumped in to fill it. Is there to support people.
Yeah. Do you see the theme of why they're inspirational now?
It's basically what I just said, because both of them see a need, whether it's something they experienced or it's just they see it, they see the need, they know how to fill it, and they step up and create something to fill that need and help level up others, help support others, help be there for others.
Yep. But most importantly is not talking. They're doing. I only want doers on my team. I can talk until I'm blue in the face, right? Or pink in the face. That's it.
Pink.
But
Be
if
pink.
who you are does not align with what you do, I do not welcome you yet in the inner circle. I'm not saying I'm not going to welcome you, because everyone is welcome. But you have a lot of self reflecting that you need to do. I cannot do that for you. No one can. You have to be accepting of what you need to do, and you have to find and figure out what kind of help that you need so you could level up yourself to the point where you recognize your current skills already and what you want to do. Who you are and what you do should always align, guys. Always. Sometimes it's a privilege, sometimes it's a choice, right? It's a privilege because what we do, like teachers, we don't get paid enough, but I love doing it. I'm lucky enough and privileged enough that my husband can support me, right? In our lifestyle. Some people might not be privileged enough. What I'm going to welcome you is that you're going to say, CJ, that's nice because it's nice and dandy that you fall into that. But me, I have to pay bills. I might not like farming right now. And I have an agriculture background, a PhD in that, but now I'm farming because I need to pay bills, right? And you're not aligned yet. It's okay. You can still have a passion project. And eventually, that passion project, if it's close to your heart, near and dear, and you're doing something, you're going to recognize where your value is and fill that cup and maybe pivot and change your career at a later time, because you will see a lot of these executives who are burnt out, like burnt out, right? I have so many conversations, guys, privately. They're just burnt out, and these people are amazing. They're burnt out because they're doing something for somebody else and it's not for them. They're using their skills to help others, but they're not helping themselves. And there's go, 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 go. Pace yourself. This is your life. It could end right now, right? Pace yourself. And I really love that all of the people so far that we've chosen to record and be inspirational are people who are doers, not talkers, right? Um, any last minute thing that you would like to talk about, sister?
I just, in some ways, it's hard to follow up on that because it says it all. We've got people who they're ready to jump in and lend a hand and mean it. So it's like you said, You get the actions. It's not just words. Because too often people are providing empty words that when you take them up on it, you kind of learn that they didn't expect you to take them up on it.
Yeah.
But here, you get that feeling that they're safe. They are ready to. They're ready to be there beside you.
Yeah. And if you're not there yet, it's okay. You're not a bad person. You just continue on self-awareness, continue on realigning yourself and pivoting yourself and until you find that happiness. No one can tell you what makes you happy. No one can tell you what peace of mind means to you. Everything that I do, and I mean everything, when I go to bed, I don't have any guilt. When I go to bed, I'm at peace that I did everything I can possibly if I don't wake up anymore. After I wake up and not breathe, that everything that I do, I don't have any guilt because everything that I do is something that I love, right? And helping people is something that I love with pay or without pay. You guys are paying me wrinkles right now. But anyway, when I'm going to talk about the wrinkles, but just love who you are. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you hate yourself, like you just have hatred and you feel like just a loser at that moment, you're not a bad person. You need to take inventory of your own backpack of life, an inventory of your skills, an inventory of what you want to do 3 months from now, a year from now. And what are you doing to get there? Stop talking about it. Do something about it, right? What about you, sister? What is your last minute takeaway?
It's to just do it, because I'm thinking about you talk about looking at yourself in the mirror. The past is already past. And quite frankly, if somebody said you can go back and change it, I wouldn't change anything because I like who I see now. The time to make a change, if you feel like there's got to be a change, is right now. This is the time to change. Don't say, I wish I had. Take this moment and ignite your awareness that you can take control. Nobody else has to control who you are. You take control. You take the first step to move beyond whatever's been holding you back.
That's right. Now, my key takeaway that I want you guys to think about from the difference between what I've talked about, doing something versus just talking about it, lies in the impact and results. Impact and results, those two. Talking about an idea or a plan actually creates that awareness, like this is what I want to do, right? But it also set that intentions. But it is that action that brings those ideas to life and also leads to that something tangible that's happening in your life. You have to take control over your life, right? You have your locus of control have to be very strong on what you want, right? And then also doing something requires commitment. You need to commit to yourself that you're going to do something nice for yourself. Sometimes people's like, oh my God, I'm not going to pay for that classes. I'm not going to pay for that courses. It's too much. Technically, you're saying no to yourself. I hope you know that. You can't take money to the grave, right? You can't. But you can take yourself and you can take your thoughts and your legacy and make an impact, intentions and impact. Now, it also requires effort. Don't be full of excuses. Oh, I can't do this because I'm full of excuses when it comes to working out. I don't have time, right? That's my excuse anyway. And I know I'm full of excuses. I could really do something for 30 minutes, right? And often overcoming those little challenges that you do creates bigger impact in your life and then it becomes a habit. So while talking about it can sometimes create that idea, get out of your way and don't avoid taking responsibility and accountability for your actions. Because ultimately, while you're discussing how important planning is, how important goal is, the strategy to success, whatever success means to you, is just doing it. And if it somehow does not yield what you want, the results or the outcome, don't get discouraged. Change. Right? Like literally, if your trajectory is left and right, you have two hands, left and right. If you can't pick it up on the right, you're gonna have to try it on the left. Now, if you can't pick up on the right, you're gonna have to try both hands, right? You're gonna do together because the act of doing drives progress, growth, and success. Thank you guys so much for listening to us today. We love you. We will see you on next week, Friday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.